Most countries in the world are drowning in debt. America sits at a record high with $38 trillion. The European Union carries around $14 trillion. Japan shoulders $9 trillion. Even oil-rich Saudi Arabia, even export giants like Germany and China, all are heavily indebted. So far, so good. Now comes the interesting part. If everyone owes money, who exactly is supposed to receive it? This is where the strange beauty of monetary history comes to light. Debt is not just a burden. It is the skeleton of the modern world. Behind every conflict, every crisis, every rebirth, there is a hidden web of debt. Follow the thread long enough and you reach an unexpected truth. The world doesn't really owe anyone but itself. Of course, this is not equally positive for everyone. So how did we end up here? How did the massive global debt pile, now exceeding $300 trillion, come into existence? The story goes far back. What we call national debt wasn't born on Wall Street, but on the battlefield. In 1694, England was fighting France and running out of gold. The king turned to merchants for help. They provided money to the crown in exchange for interest. To maintain this arrangement, the Bank of England was founded. The crown could now spend invisible money. In return, merchants, the creditors, received government bonds. This was the birth of modern finance. Other nations saw it and adopted the model. The Netherlands improved it. The United States used it to finance its existence. Over time, debt transformed from a weakness into a display of power. Once upon a time, nations gained strength by taking land and gathering gold. Now they issue bonds and collect interest. The world changed. Today, debt has become a global export. Everyone owes. Everyone lends. Every population is simultaneously debtor and creditor. So who is holding the rope on the opposite end? For example, half of America's $38 trillion debt is held by investors. Most of these investors are American banks, funds, insurance companies, and the Federal Reserve itself. The rest is held by foreigners. China and Japan are big players, but not as big as people assume. America's debt to China is only a small portion of the whole. In essence, the system works like a loop. The Treasury issues bonds. Banks grab them. The Fed sometimes buys them back and prints new dollars in return. People pay taxes, and those taxes eventually flow back into the same system as interest. The debt is real, but the creditors are usually the country itself. This isn't unique to the United States. Japan lends to the U.S. The U.S. lends to Europe through the IMF. Europe lends to Africa and Asia. They invest their assets into developing nations. Each country holds someone else's IOU. The planet functions like a giant chain. Markets are the ghost managers of this system. They decide which country borrows cheaply and which one struggles. Lose credibility and everything flips overnight. Central banks are the backbone. They don't just manage debt, they create it. Every new unit of money corresponds to a liability. There is no such thing as money without debt in this world. Every financial value is a declaration. The system runs on trust. Governments will never be able to truly repay their obligations. Debt exists not to be paid off, but to be rolled over. The system works this way. Like renewing a subscription, debts are renewed each period. Government debt is the safest asset on earth. Central banks, commercial banks, even pension funds rely on it. This is why politicians saying, "we will pay off the debt," are selling fantasies. The system cannot function without debt. What matters is sustainability. When trust breaks, reality shifts. It happened in Greece. It happened in Argentina. It happened in Sri Lanka. Once the system cracks, creditors suddenly appear in the daylight. The IMF, rating agencies, anonymous bondholders. Everyone pressing a nation into a corner becomes visible. Yet even after collapse, the system returns. Because in the modern era, debt is not meant to be repaid. It is meant to be renewed. Debt is both a transfer of income and a transfer of power. It flows upward. Inequality rises. Those who repay lose. Those who hold debt win. There is no single villain in the global system. Not China, not Wall Street, not the IMF. We are all inside the machine. Debt became money. Money became debt. Everyone is both a debtor and a creditor at the same time. As long as trust holds, there is no problem. Once trust breaks, the system reveals its true face. Because debt is ultimately one thing, a promise that cannot fully be kept. If this made you see things from a different angle, subscribe. History knows the answers, and I'll show you where to find them.